And I sit in this chair and talk. Reading, Pennsylvania is, it's nowhere. It's not it's, just like a lot of places in America, it's not somewhere you'll hear about often. It's not somewhere where people go to achieve their dreams. Pretty much in my experience, you're born there, you live there, and then you can grow up and you can work in a battery warehouse or leave. And so it's that sort of hopelessness, I guess, that initially drove us to like try and break out of it and be a bigger part of the world, even if it's just through music. And so we, at the beginning especially, I feel like we were always trying to think globally. It's so easy to do, to get yourself stuck into this mindset where like Reading is all there is, and there's no reaching outside of it, and any attempt to do so is you're sort of kidding yourself. But early on we had this idea that maybe that's not the case, and maybe we can push through that sort of melange, if you will.
This is where I, wrote the last 3 records. Wrote Monarchy here, Owls here, and now The Work. And every time new record time, I always end up moving the desk from a different corner of the room. Like on Monarchy, I think it was over there. On Owls, it was here. Work is here. Actually, it was kind of both, but yeah, this is like my little setup. And spending all of 2020 basically kind of like locked up in here. Guess it like gave me the time that I didn't really know that I needed to sort of just like improve things on the record. A lot of the record was already done before lockdown happened and everything like that. Due to the nature of this material, it actually worked out in our favor that we were all kind of like shut off from one another, because I think it really sort of like allowed us to like kind of just like dive within, more than we may have.
Fuck, dude, it's that fucking upstroke. It's the upstroke. Alright. It's the pick, man. I need
It's the pick.
Fuck! That's pretty fucking close.
It was definitely the posture and the seating.
Yeah, I was just sitting the wrong way. Sometimes you just have to sit a different way.
not necessarily hard, writing riffs or whatever like that. Just like it was, it just took a lot of energy. It was a real energy suck, I guess. Like I know that sounds like a negative thing, but like by the time it was over, I was definitely in a place where like I just kind of needed to distance myself from this record a little bit and like just not really think about it, because it really was something that I thought about all the time, like nonstop, and I was just always sort of thinking about ways to make it better, and is this good enough, is this not, and when it was done, it was like to be able to step back and like look at what had been accomplished in the year. It was kind of wild. Like it didn't turn out anything like what I thought it would, but it makes sense that it did turn out that way, because I don't really think that anything about the last 18 months is the way anybody thought it would be.
We're here, we're recording during a pandemic and during a weird election, and there's a lot going on in this world, and I mean it could end at any second. So it would be cool to get this released before the world ends, I had the snare off.
Great job. Holy shit. I'm too high for
want your money, your time. I want your patience and your pride. I'm all restless in a maiden, and I'm working overtime. So heaven help me.
My brother woke me up and he was like, well, Brett hit me up and said that a band needs a drummer, and he's like, if you don't do it, I'll do it. And I was like, what band is it? And he's like, it's Rivers of Nile. And I'm like, yeah, I listen to them all the time. I'm hella down. I'm the fourth drummer, and I don't know, it feels good to be a part of it. I enjoy everything that we've come out with as a band, like whether I was in it or not. I don't know, we're all very passionate, I feel, in just for this band, and it feels cool to like, because when you get new members, like you have to get to know somebody else, and they're just like a part of another piece, but it feels good to have every piece intact that we had at the beginning that I started, I guess. Yeah, winter's just gonna be the end, just a sad, depressing end. I went into like a dark depression for probably the whole year. Like once I found out about COVID, or once we all found out about COVID, and like having to stay in, and like I was working the whole time, and but it still kept me down, and I still felt like I was in confinement, you know? And then also like going to jail for, it was only like 4 days, but it still put me in a weird mental state, since I was like in confinement the whole time, you know? You're really not gonna know what's going on at all, probably the whole entire album. And it's nothing like what we did with Owls, and it's definitely not what they did with Monarchy and Conscious Seed. So it's gonna be a weird one, a wild ride, and don't expect anything at all.
Wow, it even comes with a disc. It comes with a CD-ROM. You could learn how to play all wet.
You know, we were going to start this, the follow-up to what would be our most successful record, and the world is in shambles, and we don't know if we're going to be able to, we still don't know if we're going to be able to go out there and represent this the way that we want to. So it's definitely got a little hopeless.
Scared. Scared.
It is?
What?
Is this recording?
No, I'm scared.
Why are you scared? Why are you scared?
I don't know, I just can't. I can't get excited about any of it.
Well, it's happening, so you gotta do it. You know what I'm saying, dude?
Yeah.
But it's great.
I had a lot of hard times trying to really bear down and focus on this material in a way that I felt was, you know, what I was capable of doing. And just because I didn't know what it was all worth at this point. During all of this, it was very easy to forget that there's even a part of me that does that. You know, there are definitely days, weeks that you couldn't convince me that I knew how to play a note or sing or write a song, because it just felt so distant and not part of my life.
Okay. Man, it'd be great if we could get that us.
Yeah.
Even without the breath.
Yeah.
Let's try it.
Yeah.
There's no use in all this guilt surrounding
The work is
us.
an idea I had during the Owls tour cycle. I think originally I wanted to call the winter album Static Gray, but as we got along through the Owls tour cycle, this idea that this is my job now became a lot more real, and it made me analyze, you know, my life a lot. I was making a lot of changes, moving a lot. I quit my day job and you know, just kind of delved into this work that we do more. And so I felt like there's something there, you know. Winter is hard. It's a lot of long. It's dour. It's a lot of work to get through it. And in a lot of ways, that's just your life. That's just anybody's life. It's just, as you know, as far as I know it anyway, has been, everything is work if you really boil it down. Whether it's personal, emotional, financial, creative, it's all a concerted effort. And there's a lot of things that compound on a person. You have to consider so much all of the time, and you don't even realize it. Like, you can't, how long can you really go before you think, what time is it? When was the last time I ate? Is the rent due? Etc. Any one person has a million things on their mind at once, and you have to be so many things, and it made me stop and think about that in a way that it's like, how does a person get through all of this? How do you get through life? And I think the answer for the most part is pretty much by the skin of your teeth. You have to pick and choose, and you have to figure out what to shut out and what not to, because otherwise everything gets in, and it's overwhelming, and everyday life is enough to drive a person insane.
What if this doesn't happen anymore? You know, like, what if I'm not going to be in a band anymore? You know, like, what if I'm not going to be, like, touring, or, you know, what am I going to do then? You know, like, that kind of, like, wake up. This story is about all the work that the band up until this point has put into everything that we've done, and trying to find a way to canvas all that into one choreographed story, you know, like that lyrically can make sense, but it's also very personal to us. I think that's a really interesting way to kind of capture the symbolism in what winter, you know, really represents, because winter is bitter and it's cold and it's relentless. And it's kind of like the functioning of work itself. You know, you have to put in all that work in order to get the results. And the more you become comfortable with the cold, the more you realize that the successes and the things you want on the other side of it are not that hard. You know, so I mean, that's kind of my way of looking at it. I don't know. My interpretation of the music and all of like the different layers of sounds and intricate effects that is going on is personal to the theme of winter, in that the subtlety of recognizing everything in the silence of winter and all the crisp, you know, sound effects of just, you know, snow falling, or all the subtleties, just in noticing things and how you feel differently in the cold alone. You experience the subtleties more. So I think this album sonically has a lot more, you know, stuff going on, you know, that you can kind of like hear and latch onto and fall into. So I think aesthetically, it kind of reminds you of how winter feels.
try it both ways, but I thought the slur was very fucking sick.
What, like that, like smear that
I
that I like.
Do that. Yeah, that was
We
sick.
joked about it, but let's see if it actually works. And it did, and then when he called me over and we started doing pre-pro on sax, it was like really cool. But when we actually went to record the parts, it was a little bit more surreal because I was more nervous. I had that nervous energy about me. Like I'm a perfectionist in that regard. So all of those takes, I was like, this is it. Like I need these to be what they need to be to make this album great with saxophone on it. I thought people were gonna hate the saxophone, or gonna be like, oh, well, this is kind of like really dumb. Why did they put that on the record? Everyone was really excited to hear it and was really digging all the lines I was writing, which is really more what I was worried about, was that my composition wouldn't hold up in the eye of the public, but it did, and it was just really, really a great feeling overall.
Yeah, so when I heard this record with the rough vocal mix, I really got the whole picture of what it was going to sound like. And, like, it was, like, emotional. I got emotional. I was like, oh, my God, like, this is incredible. I'm, like, super proud to be a part of this band. It was, like, the most mature, I guess, music, the most mature sounding, I guess, I feel that we've sounded as a band compared to the very first record. So I'm very proud of that, and I think other people would be into it too. Like, you know, if they hate it, they're just stupid. I'm just kidding. There's definitely some sad, depressing feels in there. You know, I think Brody has definitely kind of captured that emotion and put it in a lot of the music. And you can hear it in the songs. Like, there's a lot of elements in songs that have I don't know what I'm trying to say. Well, I was gonna say like the train tracks, but there's more of like those industrially kind of 9-inch nail-ish elements. But that's not really depressing. That's just really cool. I didn't think, or the band would be on the Billboard charts. It's crazy, like or just a metal band. We were like 62 on the Billboard 200s. Like I joined the band just, I wanted to play riffs and have fun, and like I just realized it just kept like going up and up, like. So it was a pretty cool transition, I guess, from joining the band like at the very beginning of the album. When I joined the band from their first album to now.